Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. This is another episode of The Price Variance. We're going to be doing a bit of a historical journey through horror with our Halloween theme. So, Halloween, I've been forcing Mark to make it a whole month of Halloween stuff. So, this one is the historical journey. So, Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age, and Copper Age, and a bit of modern. So, I'm getting Mark to handle the bronze to modern, and I'm going to be talking about golden and silver age comics. So in this episode, which is on my channel, I'm going to be talking mainly about golden age. And then on Mark's channel, I'm going to show my silver age comics. And Mark, I don't know what Mark's doing. He's going to subtract me. So, but that's the plan. We'll see what happens. So let's get started. Mark, show us some stuff.
Right, okay, so I apologize for my lighting. When I hold a comic up, it works. When I don't, it's a bit fuzzy. But I'm going to be holding comics up mainly, so we should be okay. Right, so I'm going to sort of, during Alan's show, I'm going to mainly be talking about Dark Horse comics. Because Dark Horse, one of the theories is that Dark Horse, the sort of start of Dark Horse in 1985 was the end of the Bronze era and the start of the Copper era. So
okay.
Dark Horse comics. So these are mainly copper, but with some modern. Okay, and we're going to start off, and it's a very appropriate title. As you can see, the lighting's now improved.
Mr. Monster.
Mr. Monster. Okay, so we've got a monster theme here. Now, I brought this comic up for a couple of reasons. I think I have discovered a new first appearance, but I don't think it's recognized as a first appearance, but I think it is. So, Alan, I'm not doing this as our official Guess Who, but this is Dark Horse Comics from around 1987, 1988. And there is an advert in the back of this for another Dark Horse comic.
Yeah, so I know Mr. Monster made his first appearance in one of those books too. So, but the one that Dark Horse won is...
it's a monster comic.
It's a monster comic. I'm thinking like... I was thinking Aliens or Predator or one of those ones.
Correct. Yeah. So in the back of this, there is an advert for Aliens, the first issue of Aliens. So
yeah, another Dark Horse one, which is do you have that as well?
I do. I'm going to show it in a second.
Cool.
So this is, I think this is actually the first appearance of Aliens in comics, but isn't recognized as such, maybe because it's an advert or maybe because nobody remembers it. But that advert predated the appearance of this comic.
Yeah. So which Mr. Monster is that? That's Mr. Monster?
Mr. Monster 1.
That's what I thought. Yeah, okay. Cool. I have that, so I didn't read through it, so I have to check.
No, well, I just spotted it as I was looking through it because I got it out to show, and I got my Aliens out to show.
That's cool.
Yeah, so this one here, the film came out, I think, in '87, and this came out the end of '87, beginning of '88. And of course, it's the first Aliens in a comic book. There was a adaptation of the original Alien film by Heavy Metal comic. Prior to this is the first Aliens in a comic. This actually, unfortunately, is not a first printing. There were a lot of printings of this. This is actually the 5th printing. So be careful when you buy, if you want to go and buy a copy of this, make sure you know which printing it is.
Yeah.
First editions, copies of this in the first printing are now $1,000 plus comic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I have the first print, so that's why.
Okay, very nice.
Nice.
Okay,
cool.
So I've got a bit more Aliens here. So this is after they did the first sort of Aliens series. One of the first sort of mini series they did was called Aliens Earth War. And do you recognize the artist, Alan?
Geiger.
No.
G.H. Geiger, isn't
No,
it?
it's after hit. It's like Geiger, but it isn't. Who do you think the artist might be? Think about who my favorite artist is.
Oh, John Bolton.
Yeah, it's John Bolton. He did all the artwork. He did all the cover art for this series. So another
So
great.
yeah, it looks like Geiger the
Yeah,
style
it's very
as well.
similar. Yeah.
So that's why.
And another John Bolton artwork on Aliens Earth War. I love these covers. And another great cover.
Yeah,
So
those are great.
and then we've got a series called Aliens Genocide.
Yeah,
Nice cover there.
that's a really great cover.
It is a nice cover. That's not John Bolton. Got a few more of these, and then another one. You should be to see if you can recognize the artist. No, not this one. That's just what this is from Dark Horse Presents. So Dark Horse did a series called Dark Horse Presents, which had, and I got the whole thing. I started buying it at issue 1, and I bought it all the way through to issue whatever it was.
There's a bunch of first appearances.
There is a whole bunch of first appearances in Dark Horse Presents.
Yeah.
It's a really good comic to have collected. Right, I'm going to cover up the name of the artist on this one because this artist is one I do like this artist, and his style is fairly distinctive. So you're probably going to guess who it is.
Who is that?
I'm covering up the artist, so you can't read it.
I'm not sure. It almost looks like Corbin.
It is Corbin. You're doing well.
Wow, okay.
You're doing well at spotting the artist today.
Yeah. So I mean, I know certain things, right? So
it's Richard.
Cool.
Richard Corbin. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big Corbin fan, so that's why.
Yeah, I like him as well. So there's a few of my Alien comics from Dark Horse.
Wow, those are really great ones. I actually have a bunch of Alien comics. I didn't even think about it, to tell you the truth. I didn't even think of those as horror comics, but it's like the most obvious. It's kind of weird that way. I'm actually going to start with my Guess Who, and then it'll lead into the comics. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just got to find it. One sec here. Just bear with me. Of course, I have like a stack in front of me of all my Golden Age. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So this is kind of a Guess Who, but it's not a fair one because it's not a first appearance.
Okay.
But I want you to guess what the significance of this book is.
All right.
Okay.
I'll have a go.
And that in itself, it is a first something. Okay.
Okay.
That makes sense. Okay. So it's this one.
Oh, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So it's classic comics. It's Robert Louis Stevenson as the author of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Quasimodo.
No, it's not a first appearance. It's not about a first appearance.
Okay.
Actually, it might be the first appearance of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. But Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, I don't know if that's the case, but
is it the first adaptation of that novel in comics?
Probably, but that's not the significance. It's something a little bit bigger than that.
Bigger than that. Okay. Ooh, let's have a think. I'm going to have to think laterally here.
So I'm sorry. This is a little bit vague. I know, but it's kind of like the reason I chose this one is the theme, the theme that we're doing.
So it's horror and it's Halloween. Yeah. Is it the first time Halloween gets represented in a comic?
No.
Okay, I give in.
Go step back a bit with that. You almost had it when you just said stuff, but it's the first horror comic.
Oh, okay. Really?
Yeah. So it's the first comic devoted to horror.
Wow. Okay. That's great.
Okay, so that's kind of significant, I figure. I forget what year this is. I think it's like early 40s, like 41, something like that. Now, there was another series called Eerie, which is like kind of always seen as being the first horror comic.
Yeah.
But it actually came out 5 years later, or 4 or 5 years later.
Yeah, it was a horror series. This is a first independent
one comic devoted towards horror. So that's that's its claim to fame. It's my copy is very beaten up. It's like
that's such a historic comic. That's fantastic. And was that done before they did Mary Shelley's Frankenstein?
Yes. Yeah. So this is and it's a first print. That's the big thing. It's like they sometimes have multiple printings of these classic comics. But yeah, just really hard one to find. Even in this beat up condition, not the cheapest of books. But yeah, so that's the first horror. I figure that's a good way to start.
That's excellent.
So yeah, I'm not sure. Like I don't think that was a very fair Guess Who, but I figured, it's a Guess Who. So I kind of wanted to explain a little bit about the horror. So most people think of the golden age as being the horror age, right? Like where all the golden age comics are all horror driven and stuff like that, but really wasn't. It was like, the beginning of the golden age is Superman and all these kind of superhero comics, which is kind of interesting. So it wasn't until EC came onto the radar that things really went horror, like full on horror. So because people were like, oh, these are really awesome, and they started collecting it all. So I kind of want to show a few great horror comics. And I figure I should show the big one first, and then I'll let you show some more stuff. Is this one, Crime Suspense Stories, number 20. This is like the famous hanging man cover. This was mentioned in the Seduction of the Innocent. It's like kind of like one of the grails of the Seduction of the Innocent books. It's it's kind of a cool book. just kind of very old.
In pretty good condition, Alan.
Yeah, I think it's like a VG. Yeah, like a VG, like sort of that range. It's got a few issues along the spine, but nothing major. I would say I could probably get it, if I graded it, it'd probably get like a 4. Yeah, solid 4. But yeah, so it's a nice one. Johnny Craig cover, just a brilliant cover. Yes. And yeah, so that's that. I have a ton of SOTI golden age horror, and I'll let you show some more stuff first, and then I'll show the rest of these ones.
All right, so we're going from the sublime to the ridiculous. So okay. I've got some. It's more Dark Horse, along the theme of Dark Horse signaling in the Copper Age, but these are probably from the modern age, maybe just on that sort of brink between Copper and modern. Just first of all, because the comic's called Monster, this is a sort of in the early 90s, Dark Horse tried to break into the superhero area by doing a thing called Comics Greatest World, and they did about 20 of these for $1 each with different characters. One of them was called Monster. None of them did anything. There's one of them that has actually carried on really and has become a reasonably significant character, and that is this one, character called Ghost.
Oh, Ghost. Yeah, I know Ghost.
Okay, and this is nice because the interior artwork on this is actually done by Adam Hughes. And when they went, the cover isn't there, but when they went on and did a Ghost series, and Adam Hughes did the cover art and the interior art for the first few issues of Ghost in her own series. So wow. That's Ghost number 1, and that's Adam Hughes art on the cover. I've got a few more of these. One of the other characters they introduced in that Comics Greatest World was called Barbed Wire.
Barbed Wire. Yeah. I have Barbed Wire's first appearance as well. That's a different book.
Yeah, no, that was in Comics Greatest World where they all did all their first appearances.
The funny thing is though, Barbed Wire, they actually made a movie about that.
Yeah, they did. A very minor character. Anyway, you're right, they did.
Yeah.
Nice cover here with some other Dark Horse characters on the mask.
A lot of people collect the character at the front there.
Madman.
Madman, yeah. Yeah. His first appearance is quite valuable.
Yeah, Hellboy as well. A lot of people collect Hellboy.
Oh yeah, Hellboy. I can't see it that well. It's sort of a little bit bright, but
so and again, another Ghost issue. And
these are great.
They're lovely covers. This one's really nice. This isn't Hughes, but I do like the cover.
Like I only have like a couple of from the Ghost series. I think I have like Ghost Zero, which is like some mail away one, or half Ghost half or whatever it was. And then I have Ghost #1. So yeah, her first appearance.
Okay, so that's my second foray into Dark Horse for your channel, and that's a mix. Okay. That's a mixture. There's just at the end of the Copper Age. I think it was 91, 92, and then the rest of those are modern.
Okay, so I got a ton to show, and then we'll go back to we'll go over to your channel with the for Silver Age. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna. Do you mind just me flashing a whole bunch of comments?
You just keep going.
Okay, so I'm going to show you some more SOTI books. This is Web of Evil, great skull cover. If you're going to collect Golden Age and horror, you got to get the skulls. The skulls are kind of one of the keys. And we got that evil witch in the background as well. And we got Tales of Horror. These are all SOTI books. This one's in really rough shape. It's like the complete split of the spine, but a really hard book to find. So even though it was like really rough, I just wanted to get it. I think there's less than 10 of these on the census. It's just that rare of a book.
Yeah, I think you've showed that one twice now, Alan. You showed that in our vampire episode as well. So
yeah, it's just a rare book. So yeah, I just grabbed all my horror SOTI. So yeah, so this is Strange Mysteries. And then we got Black Cat Mystery.
Yeah, nice.
With the witch, and like she's like another hanging cover. And I like this one. I wish it was like it's gotten eaten. Something ate it. I bought it with somebody having eaten the comic a bit.
A mouse.
But this is a great one. It's a Black Cat Mystery, and it's like I don't know. It's like the monster's kind of protecting the little kid. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Then we got Chamber of Chills. This is a really great high grade copy. And then we got LB Cole cover. This is Terrors of the Jungle, another SOTI book. These are all SOTI. So, and then we got Crime Suspense Stories, another EC book. Great one. He's murdering his wife under the water. It's always good. You know that if you murder your wife, you get mentioned in the Seduction of Innocent. So that's how it works. Okay, then we got
Poker in the Eye.
Yeah, that Poker in the Eye is another thing. Yeah, Poker in the Eye helps too. This is Thing number 9. And it kind of reminds me of like Quasimodo or somebody like kind of that, or or maybe Jack the Ripper. I don't know. Somebody kind of carrying the woman into the sewers kind of thing. And then we got Beware, the kind of skeleton zombie coming out of the ground. And we got another Beware with the little monsters coming out there.
Yeah, nice.
Okay. Then we got another LB Cole, Spook. This is Spook number 24. And then we got Witch's Tales, number 20. And then my last, I have 2 more to show. Sorry, so many. And we got Mysterious Adventures, number 11. So
Very
that's
nice.
A good one. And the last one is not a SOTI book, but it's kind of funny. So they knew something was going down with SOTI, right? They kind of, the comic industry was like, this is not going to be good. So in this comic, this is Haunt of Fear number 27. The Crypt Keeper is reading The Seduction of the Innocent. So it's kind of, kind of funny. They're kind of, sort of
Yeah.
The writing's on the wall, and they're kind of being pretty open about it. So I thought that was kind of cool. So I picked this one up just for that element. So it's Haunted Fear number 27, and that's some of my, like, a small portion of my golden age horror.
Excellent. Those
So,
are fantastic, Alan. I mean, I always love seeing those comics of yours. They're such rare covers to see. You don't see them very frequently at all. And they're all great. I especially like the Hanging Man one you showed at the start.
Yeah, that's sort of a big. That's probably one of the more famous, books, right? So, horror, Precode horror. So basically, those comics were the ones that led to the end of the golden age. People like, it was such a great time in a way, because, like, it's like one of those things where they kind of went all in with the horror. Like, they made it as gruesome and gory as possible. Some of the LB Cole stuff has that.
So end of the golden age, 1956.
Yeah, kind of. It's one of those weird things where, it's maybe earlier than that. They sometimes have it where the golden age really ends in the early 50s. And then they have this sort of weird age, which is called the atomic age, which is kind of like sort of in between.
Yeah.
But really, once the Comic Code Authority came into play, that was the end. That was really the end, in my opinion, because, all the horror stuff disappeared. It all dried up. It just, EC Comics basically almost went out of business, and they switched over to just doing Mad, doing the magazine format as a way of surviving. And then they actually made more money doing Mad than they did with their other stuff. So, they did well. So it was kind of funny. But, it's one of those things that's kind of sad. The golden age was really the height of horror, even though it wasn't really defined by that. I think of it as a transition from superhero to horror. And when I get into my explanation of the Silver Age on your channel, I will show you the transition back. So I will let that be the end of this show. Do you have any more things you want to show on this channel?
No.
Okay, so we're going to switch it over to Mark's channel, and we'll do part 2, where I'll continue the story, and Mark's going to show some more awesome stuff too. Okay, thanks for watching.